Today we're talking about the Attack from Mars pinball. I've been on this one as what I think is really the most exciting of the three pinball tables. Why do I love it? Well, because you get real pinball tables that are being simulated here and not the digitally native ones from Marvel or Star Wars. But the Buy Stuff store, a Canadian, smaller retailer that has been fantastic, either lucky or great or something at getting the arcade one up shipments really early. They posted a video of all these arcade pinballs next to each other, and they even include the Toy Shock in the very beginning, which, by the way, really looks like honestly, a toy. I know it's a crappy pun, but this looks like crap next to the arcade one ups in the AtGames, which is cool. This is the less expensive one. It was also the first one to hit the market, so they deserve some credit for that. But these really look much more professional. So not dogging on this product, but it really stuck out to me. For me, I wouldn't want these next to each other in my game room. But your mileage may vary. You also notice the Star Wars and the Marvel have these basically blank fronts. And of course, we get the analog plunger, but we also get a button, which I believe could be used for launch, which is helpful because Attack from Mars originally, I believe, was button-based launch. But here we get the artwork on the front, and I always love when they put the artwork on the front panel and not just a blank slate. So to me, this looks nicer than the other two. And I'm glad they didn't throw down on the Arcade One Up logo again, and Zen and Bali and all this stuff. I mean, the logos are fine in their places, but we don't need to be reminded of everything just because we are looking at the front of the product. So I think this looks really nice. But the main thing with this video that I liked, number one, I hate that these score pop-ups are apparently the default, but you can turn them off. I felt like the screen of play looks better here than, for example, the Marvel looked like junk. The Star Wars, I haven't seen close-up photos of, but the Marvel looked really bad. But this looks pretty good. I know it's only 720p, but the Marvel to me looked worse than 720p. And somebody on Reddit, and I don't know if this is true, so I'm just putting it out there, but they said that the Star Wars tables and then these tables in Pinball FX3, they're made for portrait mode, and they said the Marvel tables aren't, so that there'd be maybe some stretching or some compression issues that wouldn't affect the others. I don't know if that's true. That seems crazy to me that they wouldn't reorient these digital assets for a vertical or a portrait field of play. I almost have a hard time believing that, but hey, maybe it's true, and it would explain potentially why the Marvel field of play looks so bad in some of the photos I've seen. The other thing is we're getting a plexiglass a few inches off the field of play, which gives you this nice sense of depth, which I don't think you really pick up on camera. Here's a nice view of how clear the text looks. I'd really like to see that side by side with the Marvel. But anyway, you're getting a few inches of space, a gap between the plexi and the screen. So anything where the plexi is warping your view, well, it's just going to be multiplied by that distance. So that's going to be an issue potentially. But I'll tell you guys, if you want real glass here, and some people have said, hey, you're going to be able to see more clearly through real glass than plexi. I've never compared the two. I'm not here to say that that's the case. Maybe you know if you're watching this video. But it would stand to reason that glass is going to be the more pure element and that you are going to be able to see through it better. But if that's true, you can replace this very inexpensively. Go to your local glass shop. If you're in a city, you're going to have places that do custom glass. They just cut sheets of glass. They charge you minimal. Even tempered glass here is not going to be super expensive. Although I don't know if maybe tempered isn't quite as clear. I'm really not sure. This is not something I've looked into yet. I plan to look into it when I get my Attack from Mars pinball, God willing, because I do plan to replace this plexi with glass. But you can remove the glass, take it in, or plexi, take it in, get the real glass, swap it out, and maybe that will help clear things up. But this is plexi, and it looks pretty clear to me. I mean, honestly, guys, I'd love to be a snob about 720p, and we're probably just looking through some guy's cell phone here. It looks pretty good to me. Now, the black levels on this DMD box are pretty crappy, which is unfortunate, because if this was a real dot matrix DMD, you'd have total black. You'd have dot matrices you'd have dots that are just literally turned off. So this would look good. So this kind of ruins the immersion a little bit. I'm not surprised. It's clearly this is just going to be your bargain basement made in China panel. No surprising. The artwork looks fantastic though. I also like the chrome bezeling, but we've known about that for a while. So I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. And also here we get, let's see if we get a nice shot of it next to the AtGame. I think this is the best shot they provide. where you can kind of see the AtGames screen next to it, which isn't recessed. It's kind of blurry there. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I mean, this looks more washed out than the AtGames. So the AtGames is going to have that more saturated color, which you're going to get with a more expensive panel. Interestingly, both of these panels are actually 1080p, by the way. But this one's 720p, not because of the screen, but because of the PCB. So guys, please don't think you're just going to swap this monitor out, use the stock PCB, and magically get 1080p. It's not going to happen. But this monitor is same resolution, but you've got a million properties that are going to go with visual displays. Resolution is not the only thing that matters. And here, clearly, this looks, to me at least, it looks more saturated. Which, you know, this one doesn't look bad. This one looks a little better. But I really like that this is recessed, and I don't think you're getting that with the AtGames. I don't see people talking about this a whole lot, but I like this DMD placement. I don't really like this. I know we're getting the digital back glass display. And I know we're getting that, and here we're just getting a static. But if I had to pick, I think I'd pick this. One of the things I was really impressed by with AtGames is they've got a PCB that's driving 1080p 60 at 2 screens simultaneously, where this is doing the equivalent of a 720p resolution, although it's shaped differently and is smaller. But this is the equivalent of 720p, even though it's not full size. And then this is 720p. So we're talking, you know, several times more pixels being driven here, which is impressive. But anyway, that is the attack from Mars. This is, again, posted by Buy Stuff Source, so check out this video. And there's a nice close-up. You can see, well, maybe these are kind of jaggy. It's hard to tell because we're just looking through a phone. This text looks pretty clear. This text looks really clear. I can see a little bit of jaggies on this little 3D model here. Nice and uncensored view of the playfield artwork as originally was intended. Yeah, and then this is just a screen door effect we're getting probably from the phone being too close to the plexi would be my guess. All right, so that's that. We also have an update on availability. So there were a couple folks on Reddit who posted this, and one guy was talking to Best Buy. They're being told it's going to ship last week of March or first week of April, and another guy posted that he's been told it's already shipped. So it might depend when you got your pre-order in. There's also always an element of do the representatives from these big box stores, are they really giving you the accurate, up-to-date information? I don't know. But if you pre-ordered this, it is possible that it already shipped, and if not, it might just be a few more weeks. So I think we're going to get these pretty soon. Really appreciate when people post these kind of in-store communications publicly, so that's awesome. Curious what you guys think. I know I say that a lot, but really want to know, what do you think about this playfield? Because to me, it actually looks pretty nice. Is this the super hi-fi monitor? Is this a 4K OLED driving at 120 frames per second? No. For a $550 table, looks pretty good to me. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure you are subscribed, and I will talk to you soon. Hey, consider hitting that join button to support the channel, and thanks so much for watching. Dripping lights paint the sky.